turn it back.
It's complete. Is it complete?
Start now. Start now. Let's
It's only time reading. Who is not supposed to play?
I think he's playing
Baby.
Shibu.
Who should go? Like this second day.
He's on a big hold up with that.
Good morning from Lagos and welcome back to day 2 of the Lekki Classics. Yesterday, we witnessed intense battles across the board with our top players proving their worth and a few surprise upsets shaking up the standings. Today promises even more drama as the players settle in, sharpens their focus and fight for position heading into the end of the championship. Now, let's get right into it. We have Oguntade Oluwashogo and Jimoh Abdulmumin for round 12. Now, we're seeing a fast play here from Oguntade Oluwashogo, and he has a rack of. Okay, that was the first play. I'm trying to catch up. Nuraghs. GH blank. Okay, so now I'm yet to see the destination of the blank, but it could be I, it could be E. And that has been committed for 72 points. Now we're back to. Okay, sorry about that. I think we have Jimoh Abdulmumin on our screen and Ojih David. Now, Jimoh Abdulmumin played first. Now it's followed up by David with another bingo of Loganias. Okay, they're going up pretty fast, liking the board already. So Loganians has been committed for 62 points. Now, quickly, we are seeing Ijab come down from Mumin. Okay. I was seeing David go for
39.
Choof, I suppose. CHOOS for 39 points, leaving TTE. And that has been committed. Back to Mumin, we have I High K Ho RSV Aziz Rack. And some of the choices we have here is either to play Koi for 13 points just above the oof of Choof, or to play Visor, hooking the S to the jab for 34 points. So now I think we're seeing Koi come down, and that has been registered for 30 points. Back to David, who is having triplicate and duplicated tiles, triple T's, two E's, and NU. Okay. His choices are quite limited, and it might take him a while for this one. But then he could play Tenuto. Tenuto just right beside the Nurags, coming right behind the Nurag to the O of Loganias. So he could play Tenuto for 18 points. Or coming down. Okay, I think that's what we're seeing here.
18.
So has been arranged by David and ultimately committed, leaving ET. Now back to Mumin, we have VIRSMAN. A couple of choices here I'm getting is you can play Vanish, hooking the S to the Tenuto for 35 points.
18.
You could also play Vane from the TA the V hooking the TA for tab and coming down to form vein for 21 points, leaving AMRS. Okay, I see he's taking his time on this one. I think he's planning on going with vanish. I see the VANIS being arranged to the side. So if he plays that, to play that for 33 points. You could also put the R to form the vanish of VARNISH at that same spot, leaving just M. Okay, yet to make any move. Is it considering not burning his S right now, or is it considering another move? Okay, I think he's planning on playing VIM. Yeah, and that has been committed. VIM for 19 points, leaving ANRS. Back to Ojih David, we have AELNOTU. I think his choices there might be a little limited, but he can choose to play SOU from the S of Laganias, coming down. That scores just 10 points. Then right in between the KO of Koi, it could add TO to form Kotos, and that would score him 22 points. Finding that is a bit sneaky, but if he's able to spot that, okay, I see him playing SOU for 10 points. Okay, that has been registered by David. Back to Mumin, we have AADENHAR NHARS. Okay. Now the choices I'm seeing here, it could play. Okay, I think he went for it just added A to the H to form her for 7 points, leaving ADENRS. Okay, now it's back to David. He's having double E's, double L, N, T, A. Okay. His choices here could be you could play, you could use one of his L, one of his E, to the V of Vim to form Lev for about 12 points, just to get rid of the duplicated tiles. You can also use the same letter with the E hooking the T8 to form eta and then add another L coming down for 10 points. Now his highest point here would be to play out using about 6 of his letter, leaving just A to form Tellen. Tellen, the L hooking the SOU to form soul. So let's see which of the options he's going for. I see him arranging, probably thinking of going for that. Okay, I had a little break in transmission, but I can see David play telling to the men with the E hooking the mene and the N hooking the NU. Okay, and I think we saw Mumin play reasoned through the E of the telling. All right. Back to David, I can see he has a rack of AIETEN. So, reason was a bingo by Mumin, correct? And now back to David, who's having a rack of AADEINT. Now his top choice here would be to play Ideata, although it opens the triple lane below, hooking the T to the SOU. That would score him about 26 points. And he could also play late from the L of telling, going parallel on that reason for 19 points. Or idea just on top of reason for 21 points, leaving ANT. Okay, David is yet to make a move, probably still thinking of the best choice to make for this turn. But the stop choice that I'm getting here would be to play AD, hooking the D to the MENED and the A to the L of telling for 17 points, leaving AEINT. Okay, so I'm seeing him play just A. Adding is A to MENE. And that has been committed. Interesting choice from David. That is 7 points. Back to Mumin, we see LUZ being arranged quickly, and he has IFSS. Okay, I can also see him arrange Fusio. Okay. So he's probably thinking of playing Fusio to the A of okay, I see he's going for his first arrangement of LUZ just on top of this reason for 41 points, leaving FISS, and that has been committed. Back to David, we can see ADINTI on his rack. And I think having this sort of rack, you'd probably still want to up to fish, probably play about maybe AI. Okay, I see he's not fishing. He's trying to play out. And then this move he just made is opening the triple triple. So he played Dyson for 30 points, leaving AEIT. All right. That is the fifth top choice according to our simulation here. Okay, back to Mumin, we see FISEYPS.
Yeah, me and 291. So you're 190.
191.
Discuss.
68, 107, 125.
And I think what is going to go for definitely is
153.
at the top spot of this board to the triple up there. We might probably see him use one of the S. Maybe playing something like FIDS feeds for about 36 points. Or we might see FEDS. So either FEDS or FIDS. Okay, and FIDS, we can see that coming down for 36 points by Momin. Moving on, we have AEEG high TT from David. And then his top points here would be to play ETAGE, ETAGE, with the E hooking the A of Amen for 26 points, leaving IT. He could also play Gelati with the G hooking the UR, coming down for 20 points, leaving ET. Gelati or Gelate. You could see any of that at that same position. Both scoring 20 points. Okay, we're saying something different. I think he arranged Tinge, TINGE. Right. Is yet to commit. Okay, I think he has committed that.
56.
And immediately in the same spot, we are seeing PV from Min. Okay. PV for a whooping 56 points, leaving DS. Now back to David. Okay, I see him have YAETEGB. Now, some of his choices here could be to play Elegy. Hooking is E to TA. Coming down for 24 points, leaving ABT. Scoring the same 24 points, it could play BY just above the PV played by Mumin. But I'm thinking he might want to play. He might want to use his Y for this turn. Might definitely go for BY for 24 points. But if I'm trying to play more tiles, maybe the Elegy coming down for same 24 points, leaving ABT. But the B in my rack is not really something I like to keep. So BY might just be my top choice. Okay, I'm seeing BT. I think that has been committed. Yeah. BT from David. For 18 points, leaving TGE. Now I see Mumin has some clunky tiles. He has some QWCDER. I'm assuming the last style is S. Can't really see that. I see him setting aside crude. Okay, so it's possibly thinking to play crude from the E of PV, coming down for about 20 points. His other options might be to play Drew from SOU, the DU King BO, but that is exposing the triple lane. I don't think he would want to do that. He could also play Crew, hooking his R to SOU for 22 points. But personally, I think playing Crude is the top choice through the E of PV. Or you might just exchange QW. You were saying something that is interesting. I see the crews using his S. Okay. The crews. And that has been committed for Mumin. That was quite interesting. I didn't know it would do that, leaving Q and using his S. Moving on, we have GREXETT for David. And quickly, we are seeing him play GRESEX. Okay. For 28 points. I think he's having a second thought about that. Honestly, I don't think I would want to expose my ex in that lane. Maybe it's just me. But I might make this, I might play the same word, but not in the same position. Or I might just play vertex through the V of PV coming down.
28.
Yeah. But I see it's going back to Grex, his initial choice, with another position. Okay, still contemplating. And that has been committed. Grex for 28 points, leaving ETT. Back to Mumin, we see him playing quickly. Dumping his Q and his I to the G of Grex. 16 points. Now David is having ETT on his rack. Let's see his final tiles. Currently, I'm seeing 414 for Mumin and 251 for David. Now, David picked POOD to his ETT. So now, okay, I think he could play Hood, POOED, through the left side of the board, coming down from the cruise played earlier by Mumin. That would score him about 39 points, leaving TT. And I think you can also play Oxo through the X of Grace down the triple lane. I think that scores him about 30 points. Okay, now I see the first blank of the game. The second and the last blank of the game has been picked up by Mumin. Now back to David. He has 3 minutes left on his clock. And I see him arranging opted. Okay. Wondering where it wants to play that. Okay, this is round 12, day 2 of Lekki Classic 2025. If you're just joining, you're welcome. Okay, so I'm saying voted, come down. From David. Okay, this might be a little suboptimal. Now back to Mummy, we see WEERRM blank. Okay, so I think it might exactly just what I thought. Works there for 54 points, leaving is blank and the double R and M. Now David is having 80 high PO on his rack. Okay, I'm saying a top come down. Okay, I think is opting for partial. Partial score in 1 more point ahead of a top for 24 points. Top choice. Okay, and that has been committed. And yeah, that brings us to the end of round 12. Wow, this has been an amazing game head on. And I'm seeing a final score here of 468 of Momin and 303 of David. This might still be updated. I'm not sure if the final rack of Mumin has been updated to this. But even at that, we have an obvious winner of this round, which is Jimoh Abdulmumin for round 12. Big ups to the both of them. Now I'm getting a question here. Do we get to see the other category? Most likely, this is the Masters category. Then we might get to see the championship live stream very soon. But either ways, I'm going to keep you guys updated and stay tuned as we prepare for round 13. Thank you very much.